And in real life, she finally married Mr. Pepsi Cola. And she had all the luck in the world, because he died. This meant that she herself could enter the boardroom of that vast worldwide empire, where presumably she said, "Who told you to read the minutes?" just as she'd done in all her movies. When I turn on my television set, what does it show me? Someone stomping through the streets, screeching for equal pay, equal opportunity. Equal is a dead word. Never take as your object in life the desire to be anybody's equal. Once you have entered the profession of being, you have become a professor of a subject on which you are the only living authority. What other people do with their life, with their style, will not matter. In fact, every morning you should say to yourselves, preferably aloud, "Other people are a mistake." No, I withdraw that remark. It might be thought sweeping. Say to yourself, concern with other people is a mistake. Now, I know this is not what most people teach you, but I am trying to spare you the traditional scramble for mutual self-sacrifice. Altruism is a debilitating, fragmenting process. But the constant watchover and the perfection of your idea of yourself and the presentation of it gift-wrapped to others, that is a unifying and invigorating way of life, and it carries with it a built-in invitation to the party at the end of the world, that glittering function at which everybody will be speaking and nobody will be listening. And if you're armed with your style, you will be able to run toward that happy hubbub without the faintest fear that you may be out of your depth, without the faintest doubt but that you will shine. And more important than any of this, the burdens of your sorrowful and angry freedom. These problems of who to be and where to go and even what to think, they will fall away from you forever.
You're listening to a visit with Quentin Crisp on Funny Stuff here on KCRW Santa Monica, 89.9 FM. We're a community service of Santa Monica College. My name is Bob Clastor, and now, back to the interview with Quentin Crisp.
You've said that you thrive on alienation.
In a way, yes. I'm by nature an alien, because of my difference from other people and the hostility in which I grew up. And I am now accustomed to it and prefer, for instance, to live alone. I couldn't now live with anybody. I've asked people who share their lives with others how they manage to be wise, witty, kind, and beautiful for 24 hours a day, and they never answer. They laugh nervously, but they never tell you. And obviously that is what is needed, and I cannot do it. I would, in the end, be my horrible self, and then my relationship with whoever it was would come to an end. So I live alone, but I like the world. In America, of course, everybody is your friend, which makes an enormous difference. See, in England, nobody is your friend. You have to make friends in England. It's very tiring. And when you've made them, in England, you get stuck with them, which is more tiring. But in America, you never get stuck with anybody. 3 weeks is a meaningful relationship.
Well, there must be a lot of people for whom you are a friend because of some of the groundbreaking that you have done, which has made their lives a bit easier.
Well, if this is so, I'm very glad. What one mustn't do is claim to have lived one's life for the sake of other people. I've lived my life in the only way I knew how. If other people have benefited by this, then I'm very pleased that they have.
Do you have any regrets?
Not really, because before you can use the word regret, you have to be able to look back and realize that you made a poor choice of some kind. If you can look back and say, oh, I should have stayed in this job longer, or I should never have done that job, or I should never have gotten to know that crowd of people. I never had any alternatives in my life. I've done the work from which I was not given the sack. I've lived in the rooms from which I was not evicted. And I've known the people who could put up with the disgrace. So I don't look back and think I did wrong at any moment. I've done various things that were wrong. But I don't feel I should have chosen differently, because I'm a victim of fate.
Well, in a sense, we're all victims of fate, but it seems as if you've made a choice to live your life in as passive a manner as possible. I
have indeed. My agent says that I have raised passivity to the level of an art form. And in a way I have. It is my way of dealing with everything. And it's the result, of course, in part, of acquiring an agent. Once you have an agent, you don't have to do anything. When people speak to you, even when people rush up to me in the street and say, hello, how are you? I say, I've no idea. You'll have to ask my agent.
I wonder if any of them do. Getting back to this passivity, that's a choice that you continually make.
Yes.
So as a result, you go to parties you're invited to.
I go to parties I'm invited to. I meet the people who want to meet me. I speak to the people who want to speak to me. It's the ideal way of living, because now I'm never to blame.
You've advised this sort of passivity as a good method of getting through life.
I guess you have to do it, but you have to stop short of actually throwing your life away. You can rely on the kindness of strangers, like Blanche Dubois, but you have to do it with a certain amount of caution, or you will come unstuck altogether.
And does this passivity come naturally to you, or does it require effort?
It comes naturally, but I worked at it as well. I think it's part of my nature. But when I was a child, I was violent-tempered. But I was the youngest child, and I knew I would never win. So I had to learn to feign not to be upset or angry at the ridicule heaped upon me by my parents or my sister or my brothers.
Do you feel a sense of victory, having survived it all?
Well, in a sense, yes.
You've probably outlived most of your tormentors.
I've outlived my tormentors. I never required a revenge upon them. I only required to find a way of getting through my life, which I never expected to do so easily as I do now. I mean, financially, of course, I'm on the verge of extinction, but socially, I don't have any trouble in living.
Is there anything you've always wanted to do?
Well, someone asked me that some time ago, and I racked my brains, and I was able to say that I would like to be in a Technicolor widescreen first feature movie. Well, now I've been in one, and I am cured of a desire to be a movie star. It was the most uncomfortable occupation of my entire life. I was sprayed